Okay, that was the official guest intro music. Welcome to Rip Thrill Podcast. We have Lachie Neale,
Good work.
25 years of age, 145 games, I think. Three-time best and fairest of the Fremantle Football Club. 2 times Jeff Christian medalist. And if you don't know what that is, it is the best on ground in the clashes.
Nah, you've got it all wrong.
I've got it wrong.
Oh,
What is
really?
it? What is it?
Jeff Christian, I think he's the ABC Player of the Year for like a WA player.
2-time Jeff Christian medalist, ABC Player of the Year medalist, 63 Brownlow votes, and we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
Welcome, the man, the myth, the legend, Lachie Neale.
Thanks for having me.
First
Looking forward
guest,
to it.
you are on the People's Show. The
People's
Show?
Podcast.
The People's Podcast.
Do you actually have a nickname? Just Lachie.
The boys have come up with a few. There's Chocy,
Chocky Milk.
because I think
Chocky Neale.
Alex Witherden was pretty tired one day in the club, and he was trying to say Lachie, and he said Chocky, and then it just kind of.
Who's Lurch? Are you Lurch?
I brought Lurch. So there was a player who plays in the NBL now, Craig Moller,
Oh, yeah, how's they going?
who was at Freo.
Yeah. Don't know who that
I don't
is.
know who
No.
that is, yeah. I was
Big up.
So
Shout out
he's-
to Craig
Shout out
Moller.
to Greg. He doesn't miss a show.
He doesn't miss a show.
Doesn't miss a show. He's played for the Boomers.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Damn.
My bad, Craig.
All right.
Plays for Melbourne United.
Yeah. Chris
Um,
Goulding.
Craig Moller. Yeah.
Oh, Craig Moller.
Yeah,
Craig
yeah.
Moller.
Yeah.
His nickname was Lurch, and I sort of brought it here and said to Tommy Cutler, he's a bit of a Lurch.
Yeah.
You know Lurch, like
Are you
Adams?
lurking around?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. Oh,
Lurch
yeah.
Adams from the Adams family.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
where it sort of comes from. And then so now,
So you've
boys been
stolen
calling
an
me
NBL
Lurch.
player's nickname and put it for yourself.
Well, I don't want it. It's not a great nickname.
No, that's the type of person I want on the show, though. That says a lot.
Who just takes shit,
That
takes it by the
100%.
throat and is like, this is mine.
That's it.
Lurch.
That's what we
I like
do.
Chocky Milk.
Chocky Milk.
Chocky. Okay, we've got Chocky on here.
Jules have been,
We might
Jules
throw
have been
it-
calling me Chocky as
Really?
well. Yeah.
If Emma calls me Robbo, I reckon we're breaking up.
I don't think I've called you Robbo on the show.
No, you call me Mitchell. And that's like
Yeah.
what mum calls me when I'm in trouble. Anyway,
That's okay. I'll keep doing that.
currently standing at 176 centimeters tall, and I was going to talk to you about this because
That's a lie.
it's not a lie. It's what's it called? Wikipedia. That doesn't lie.
Fact.
Fact. It's fact. But I was going to say, when I played on you a couple of years ago, I did my research when I was going to tag you. Obviously, breakout season records for the year galore. When I stood against you, I'm like, damn, this guy's actually like not that small, and you're thick as.
Thick.
First thing I noticed was his calves. Have you seen his calves? Well, he's got jeans on. But
I was told to keep an eye on it on
Thick.
Saturday. Yeah.
thick calves.
You told me that.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
You definitely did.
I think I've
You're an
inherited
admirer.
them from my dad.
Has he got big calves?
Yeah, if you meet my dad, just have a look at his calves and you'll be like,
Has he been down recently?
that's Lockie's dad.
Is it- so you just first thing you're like, bang.
Yeah.
What are those?
those?
But yeah, I'm 178.
Okay,
I've been
so
178 for like 5 years.
you didn't say that. You literally off air. You just said you're 178 a couple of days ago. You just
Yeah.
so we did.
'Cause we got measured.
We got
by
measured.
Pip.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that was like a few months ago. But
but you've
yeah,
had different
178.
hairstyles since you got measured on
Yeah, if I've
Wikipedia.
got the like Harry Styles buffy hair,
Yeah.
I'm like 185.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you
It
are.
just
Yeah,
sticks
it
up.
sticks up. I don't mind it. That's. I was going to talk about that because obviously on the club barber, and you know people know me. People come through a lot.
You're filthy about this.
Well, yeah, yes and no, because he's got a good reason. Because Jules, his wonderful wife, is a hairdresser,
I've been
so
told,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that he goes somewhere else and it's free. Like the boys come here to get a free haircut, so he kind of gets the free home job, haircut job.
yeah. But you haven't let this go. I mean, we were talking about
No,
this a couple
I
weeks ago.
haven't. But
I almost didn't think you were going to ask Lachie to come on because there
well,
was
yeah,
some-
well,
For that reason.
tension.
I was gonna. You know how I did the Instagram story or the Instagram thing was like, who do you want, Charlie or Neil?
yeah.
Charlie,
oh,
actually,
yeah.
Charlie actually won that poll, but Lachie actually
Oh.
won the poll, and I wanted Charlie to come on. So I kind of had to rig a little bit, make fake accounts, and started
jig
going,
it up.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's why we got that spike.
That's why I had, yeah, that's why our numbers are going through the roof. all that counts.
Fantastic. That's good to know.
Yeah, so obviously, let's not dance around the fact. You're in Brisbane now, if
Yeah.
people didn't realise. All the way from...
It's not a live
it's
cross.
not a life crisis. It's kind of,
God's country, welcome.
yeah, welcome. You're not even a Brisbane boy, so...
Well, I'm a Gold Coaster. That still counts, man. I'll
Okay.
still drive up here
Okay,
once a
you're,
week.
you're Queenslander. Yeah, so how's the transition been? Obviously, you moved over from Fremantle after being there for a numerous amount of years. You had a beautiful house up there. You still got it, I know for a fact. You moved here and you moved in with Link McCarthy.
Yeah.
Can you run us through that transition and how that was early days?
Yeah, it was obviously a pretty big move and something that Jules and I thought about for a long time. So, yeah, big move. Basically, the opposite side of the country. So it's
the biggest
I think
flight.
it's the biggest
You
move.
couldn't
go
find a
further.
further home.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
couldn't actually find a further place from Perth.
But as you would know as well, the club makes it like so
that
easy
transition.
as well. Yeah, so we didn't have to do too much at all. They pack up your house and get everything over here and whatnot. But Jules had a salon, as we just spoke about. She was a hairdresser. She's actually still got it in Perth. So she stayed there for a few months, and I lived with Lincoln Taylor in an apartment. So I was sort of cramping their style for a while, but that was good. I hadn't like spent heaps of time with Link since we were younger. So
Yeah, because in the media, like they were pumping that up as like best mates for life.
yeah,
Like blood brothers.
Yeah,
Was that actually the case? Like obviously you guys know each other, but you grew up not too far from each other in country
about
SA.
half an hour. Like our town's about.
So it's
half an
4
hour
hours
away
from Geelong, really, isn't it?
from Adelaide.
Well, it's similar. 4 hours from Geelong too, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it is.
I've never driven to Geelong from home, so
I would not
It's
have
like
a
6
clue. I'm
hours
so
to go.
lost.
6 hours, yeah. So you kind of know each other, and you play. I guess you play at juniors in not Vic Country, SA as well together. So was it like actually best friends, or you just actually knew each other?
we'd both probably say we weren't like best mates.
Yeah,
but
see, I thought I
we were
saw
good
that was
friends.
a
Like, he came to our wedding and like. Really
Oh,
good
how was
mates
it?
Still. The wedding.
because I kind of knew you for like through Instagram, and I
And
didn't.
that was it. And
I
there was
didn't get
no
an invite.
invite.
I was a little bit flat, but that's all right. Because you
Yeah,
got
were
married
sick.
while you were at the
like,
club.
You were like.
Were you at Freo or Brisbane when the wedding was on?
I
Off
think I'd,
season.
like, just been traded, or maybe just about to. When was I was married on November 3. Oh, so I would have.
So you would have been here. You would have just been here. So yeah, I was a bit
But
flat.
I didn't
on
have
that.
any teammates there.
Well, you
it was all
did.
ex-teammates.
Yeah, well,
But
I know.
it
I
was a
kind of
great
knew you
day.
beforehand, so yeah, whatever. But we'll move on from that. So, yeah, so you obviously knew Link, and I think the club and the AFL just kind of pumped that up as a fairy tale story, and he got 3 years out of it. So good on him.
He got done before me, so he was getting 3 years anyway.
It was the domino effect. But yeah, so he moved in with Link, and now you bought a beautiful house. Is it Cooperoo?
Yeah, Cooperoo.
Cooperoo Heights?
Cooperoo Heights is.
That's what Blanchy
Peter
says.
Blanche
Peter
likes to
Blanche,
call
our
it.
physio, he looks down
Cooperoo
upon
Heights.
Cooperoo. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cooperoo Heights. So run us through that. Were you in the market for a while, or you just kind of just saw that and went, oh, that's it?
Oh well, when the possibility came that we were coming to Brizzy, Jules was on realestate.com.
As they are.
Flat out.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to realestate.com.
Yeah.
Still searching for a sponsor, but yeah.
So just,
Come on the podcast to get a free house.
Email the boys. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, she was looking flat out at houses, and she came across this one pretty early.
Yeah.
Then when I moved over, I went and looked at probably like 10, 12 houses in like 2 or 3 weeks because she wanted a house sort of before she moved over.
As you
as
do.
well.
And she was 3 months after you got here. Was that when she moved in?
Yeah. So
Got
she
here.
came in January.
Yeah.
And I was here in November. So yeah, it was about 2 or 3 months. But yeah, it only took
Just see
about
this
4
house, man.
weeks.
Just
Dope.
that's it.
Yeah.
Only thing it's missing is the basketball court, really.
And a
We'll get to that
tennis
as
court.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
tennis
No,
court.
you
definitely
do
touch
the
on that.
same thing. Play
Yeah.
basketball
But
and
no,
tennis
it's a
court.
nice house. Jules has done well. She picked it. I went and looked at it. She came and looked at it, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah,
So
That's
she
the
did
one.
all the hard work and you just came in and said yes? Is that
yeah."
how it
Well,
Where do I
I'm pretty-
sign?
I'm like that with everything. Like,
Mate, you don't need to defend yourself to me. I'm
no,
very
I'm
much
just like in terms of like Jules will be like, "Oh, do you like this couch?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. So
That
you're not
doesn't
like you're
really
not an
bother me.
interior decorator type
Nah,
like.
I'd be the worst interior designer.
yeah.
Well, no. Well, you kind of need. You still tick it off. Like you're a foreman, really. Like yeah, I like that. Chuck it there.
Yeah.
Like if it was bad, you're not going to say it's good. Are
Yeah,
you? Or you're
nah,
kind of
I
a yes
wouldn't.
man. You're a yes man husband.
No, I would say if I didn't like it, but
Yeah.
is it like it's hard to find a bad couch, I reckon. Unless
Yeah.
the patterns and stuff are disgusting.
This is a stank ass like mustard color one from the 70s. Like
yeah,
they're not great.
Then I'll be like, well, maybe let's not get that. But
Yeah. So run me through it. You're in Brisbane. It's beautiful weather here. Like that's probably the first thing you noticed. Preseason would have been shit house. Surely the humidity in that.
yeah, it's pretty hot, but Perth's hot as well.
It's sunny hot. Like you get burnt hot over there. It's not like I can't
Yeah.
breathe hot.
Yeah, that's
It's a dry
probably the
heat,
difference.
isn't it? It's
It's a
humidity.
bit dry,
Yeah.
yeah. But I reckon, do you find like once you start running and training, like you just
You get
you're
you
just
get
hot
accustomed
anyway,
to it. Like you get used to it. So you're gonna like I think if it rains the night before, the heat comes out of the ground here,
Yeah.
and you can't like you
Yeah.
honestly can't breathe. And obviously you're wearing jumpers and stuff, and that gets an extra couple of kilos on it. So it feels like you're running out with a vest on your back.
yeah, it does get solid.
But in terms of like it's I think it's different because I was in Melbourne and in the Melbourne summers like the sun's hot, but it's not like you can still push through that.
Yeah.
Did you find it was hard in preseason? Obviously, you had a really good preseason, and we talk about someone that you flew up on a private jet here too to help you train. Greg Williams, we'll talk about that in a minute. But how was it preseason?
You've done your homework. I like this.
I know my teammates. It's the first thing someone will say about me. When I finish up, you're like, man, you know Robbo? He knew his teammates.
Absolutely.
I forgot the question.
Preseason, how was it?
Oh, preseason, yeah. I hadn't done one in like 4 years, so I was just stoked to be out there. I didn't miss a session, which is the first time.
So you're one of blokes
time.
that I think it was only 10 or so that did it 100%.
Was
the rest is like 75.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I didn't miss one session, which was awesome. I've had a few injuries in the past and a few surgeries post-season, especially the last 3 or 4 years. So it's probably the first one I've done since leading into that 2016 season.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've missed like a massive chunk of pre-season every year. So, I was just glad to be out there. A bit like Link, like he hadn't done one either, like basically 7 years.
That's what I was saying before, that picking him, I thought like, this might be a bit of a throwaway, 3-year deal type thing because he's played like 25 games in the 6-7 years.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, it's going to be a miracle to get him on for a full season. He has like paid in dividends.
Yeah.
Obviously he's worked hard, but we've got a really good medical team here, but obviously he's worked hard at it and he's like, I reckon he's played that good so far.
Yeah, he's been great. His body's holding up well so far, so touch wood, it stays that way.
And obviously you're playing some bloody good footy at the moment. Like, no dance around the fact that I think you're Brownlow favourite. He's the best player in the... No, I said it. But like the best player in the comp.
What about Cripper?
Probably the best... No, don't worry about him. He had 12 positions on the weekend.
If they're not on the show, we don't acknowledge them just yet.
I want you leaving this show like big head. Like, you're going to golf. You're going to win golf today.
I need to win golf today.
Yeah, you do need to win golf today because I've heard some bad truths about you. But yeah, obviously you flew Greg Williams up. Can you run us through how that all went down and why you got him up here?
Yeah, I suppose like just outsourcing maybe like a little advantage over some other people and whatnot. But I met him a couple of years ago at the Brownlow, I think. And then, last pre-season, I just threw up the idea to Fags, what he thought about doing that. And it was more just like to teach me a little bit more with my hands. And obviously he was one of the best, if not the best handballer in the game. And that's probably my strength as well. So I feel like I wouldn't say similar players because he was an absolute star, but...
and he was pretty dirty. Greg, you know this.
Yeah, just like similar style. So I just thought it'd be nice to learn a couple of things off him, but it's nothing too serious. It's pretty casual and I've learnt a fair bit from it though, which is good. He
has a lot of good handball drills that I see you've brought up. You do with Zane Littlejohn.
Yeah.
After each training session, he does...
Got him to help me out a bit.
Yeah, so you've been doing it. I can see those extras because he was at the Blues when I was there for, 1 or 2 years when he used to pop his head in and do the same drill. So I thought that's definitely a diesel drill. But no, it obviously it's paid dividends because your handball efficiency is right up there, and you love a handball. Like, let's be honest, it's I reckon it's the best attribute you've got, and you hit a target pretty much every time. So the things with like players that like want to overdo handballs, they do it for a 1-2 type thing.
Yeah,
his handball gets players out. That's what. So I'm making sure you leave with a big head. Like, he's really, we love it. We love his handballs.
Well, that's what, like, a lot of people say like I don't kick enough and stuff, but
it's
not really my game. I feel like if I try and kick more, I'm just kicking for the sake of it, and it's not really advantageous to our team. So
yeah, I agree.
I feel like I can put guys in space sometimes, and that's what I bring to the team, I feel.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and Mitch, I know you'll be able to relate to this, but when you came to Brisbane, was it almost like starting high school again? Because you haven't just moved to a new footy club, you moved to a new state. There was a lot of new faces. Was it kind of reminiscent of almost starting high school again? Because you were, in foreign territory for a fair bit there.
Yeah, I'd say it's like getting drafted again rather than high school, because when you get drafted, especially interstate, so I was South Australia over to WA, same thing, don't know anyone, new footy team. Like high school, you still sort of got your mates, I reckon. Like that, some come with you, like a lot of new people. But it was like getting drafted again. And I suppose for the first few weeks, I was probably a bit quieter than usual, but I was more just sort of sussing the place out and seeing how everyone went about the day-to-day operations at the club and getting to know the players a little bit rather than coming in and like do this, do that. Yeah. So, but it was a weird feeling, like even just meeting 45 new teammates for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like still a bit daunting, even though I'm 25 years old. But everyone was very welcoming, and that's one of the things that I knew about the club before I even got there, that I'd fit in pretty well. And from all reports, from Fags and Nobes, Greg Swan and that, who I'd caught up with a bit before coming to the club, they said that the playing group is really close-knit, but they're very welcoming as well once new players come into the group, and that was shown firsthand to me.
Yeah. No, when I got my situation's a bit different. Obviously, I had to leave Tasmania when I got drafted, so I was going to a new state regardless. But going from the Melbourne bubble to here, I the thing you just touched on the end was the family aspect that they have at the club. Like when I first got here, it was probably like 75% was from interstate, so we knew the fact that we had to build a little family within a family, and everyone was really welcoming when I first got here. And that's something that we've built our culture around, is that family aspect. And when when Lachie got here, first of all, like, I'm sure you would have like a multiple text messages from all the boys and coaches and staff, and that they just will try and make you feel welcome as possible. And I was going to touch on, like, they have their golf days, and they've already got that little thing they can always talk about now. So golf day is on that. Just because before we didn't touch on the golf days.
Oh yeah.
Run me through the golf days.
Golf days, yeah. So we have
today day off.
Because we have like a fixed day off, so it's always Wednesday.
Yeah.
Usually play Wednesday mornings, but today we're actually out at, is it Kapara?
Kapala Bar?
Nah, it's like KEP Kapara or
Kapara?
Mate,
shout out Kapala Bar, wherever you are.
I'm the Gold Coast kid.
Yeah,
so the
KEPERRA.
Kapara, we'll just say Kapara.
Yeah, but usually out at Brizzy Golf Club, like every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we have like a table of points. So Josh Walker, he loves this sort of stuff, and he's probably the worst golfer.
He gets FOMO to the maximum, Josh Walker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he has to be involved in I feel like he has to be involved in everything. He's always involved in something. And he's one of the guys I can ask you, who's the guy with all the gear that have no idea. I'd say it's probably Walks or Hodgos.
Right. Hodgie's been putting in some like serious time with lessons and stuff, and his handicaps come down like heaps, yeah.
So he's taking a bit from his footy aspect of life, getting a bit better, smart recovery.
Yeah.
Now he's putting into golf.
Yeah. And Walks is, he's got so many different like kits that he rocks up. I've got like 3 tops.
Look good, feel good, still play shit. That's Walks' motto.
Yeah.
Hey, it's working. It's working, baby.
But he sets up like a table of like, so every Wednesday we play and you get ranked on how you went. So it's like 1st to 10th gets points. Anyone after that, no points. And we have like a FedEx table.
They get a jacket and everything.
And there's the jacket, which is also mentioned to me.
So the crew is Link, Hodge, Walker, Hugh, Berry, Zorko, Bundy, Richie, Charlie, Cameron when he wants to come. I think there's a few I've probably missed out, but that's a crew and a half.
Yeah, it's probably like 4 or 5 others that sort of come and go a bit. Yeah. Like Bassy. He's usually in my group, but
Bassy's
he hasn't
one of the better
been for
players,
like
isn't he?
4 weeks. Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No,
in his heyday, when he first got here, he was like, everyone was like, wow, Bassy's awesome.
He played 3 holes the other day and then walked off.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he not happy?
No, he sucked up.
Oh, he like
sprayed him.
You play Stableford. I won't explain it, but anyway, he was on 0 points after 3 holes, and he's like, "I'm done."
That's it.
That's not it. That's not it. Bassy, I know you listen all the time. That's not it.
You got to see it out there.
We don't like that.
You got to see it out. Like that's the thing. That's why I don't play. I got to shit back for starters, but I'll lose interest that quick if I'm playing a couple of bad holes. And it's a gentleman's game, but I don't want to do something on my day off. I'm going to get angry. I'm a gentleman. I don't want to get angry more than I'm already angry, you know? Like, so football I get pretty angry with. And I want on my day off get even more angry.
You're pretty calm.
I'm a calm and collective bloke. Like, I don't know if you see me on the field. I'm pretty...
You're a quiet one.
I'm switched on. Yeah, I had to talk about golf, but you was touching on, you caught up with Fags, Swanee, Noble. Like, the question I'm going to throw, like, obviously I don't think money would have been a thing because, let's be honest, you would have got money regardless wherever you went. You're SA boy. Is there something that, like, stood out for Brisbane that you thought, I fit in well with that team, or, all reports you said before that you had a good culture and stuff, or were building towards that? Is it something that, like, kind of stood out for you choosing Brisbane as a destination?
Yeah, I suppose, like, when I first heard from my manager that they were interested, I watched, like, the last few games, and even on field, I reckon you could tell. And we played against Brizzy, obviously, last year, and you smoked us over in Perth.
55.
And it just felt like, even from that game and then watching the last few, just felt like, even through the TV, you could tell that they were building towards something. And caught up with a few of the players after the season when I came over, which was well documented. I came over to meet some of the guys at the club, and some of the players I caught up with, and they just spoke really genuinely about how tight-knit this group was. And last year, I think you had like such a high percentage for the position that you were on the ladder.
Probably like 80, mid-80s, and only won 5 games.
Yeah. And
did you catch up with Dane Beams when you came up here?
Nah.
So he wasn't part of that. I was wondering. I thought that could have been a headline there. That could have been a headline.
Yeah, I didn't see him. But yeah, I just felt like the way I play as well, that I could really add to the group, and it was a really good fit for me and for the footy club as well. And obviously they thought that, otherwise they wouldn't have got me over here. So I sort of just felt like it was a really good fit. Playing wise as well, I felt my style could really complement the group.
Absolutely. We won't talk too much about Freo, because obviously you've spoken about it for so many months now. But one thing I thought was really interesting, because we're talking off air, was you found it really difficult at first to talk about your new club without it being seen as a shot against your old club.
Yeah.
So how difficult was that? Because I remember I saw it when went back and had a look at that tweet, and I know you sort of commented on it, Mitch.
I went to bat for him.
When it came out, but that must have been really difficult. I mean, that must have been super difficult at the time.
Yeah, it is. Like, and I reckon when you're at a new club, there's a lot of like media outlets that want to speak to you and do things like that. And I think I said to Chocy, like the media girl, I was like, I'm probably not going to do anything, because everything I say is just getting twisted, and which is disappointing, because you can't really say the things that you want to say sometimes without feeling like they're going to turn it against you. And then you like see an article like that they thought I was having a pot at Freo, and in particular, they didn't use names, but it was pretty clear that they were talking about Fyfe. And we speak about being a selfless group all the time, and I sort of mentioned that word, and then it just got thrown back at me that I was having a go at Fyfe for
being selfish, I guess.
Being selfish, yeah. And he's certainly not that. Like, my time there, he was great in my development as a midfielder, and on field he was awesome. So I'd never throw that sort of stuff out, especially like I'm not that sort of guy to say bad things, even if I did think that. Like, I just would never do that, because it's not in my nature. But I can honestly sit here and say that Nathan Fyfe is not a selfish player. So yeah, it's disappointing, because then you're like, well, I'm not going to do anything.
You're not going to do more interviews and stuff, because it's...
And then you get attacked on social media as well. Like, people are like,
especially,
you dog. Like,
it's
like,
well, I haven't even said anything.
I'm not going to do anything anymore.
Yeah. So that was really difficult. You know, like, you felt like you couldn't say too much, if anything, you know, in any interview, in a way that it might get somehow taken out of context or twisted against you.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt. Yeah, so I didn't do. Well, I probably still haven't really done that much media, partly because of that reason. But
the value of this is just going up by the second now. This is fantastic.
Rip Through podcast shares.
The Rip Through podcast. This is just jumping up further and further now. This is fantastic.
No, it's the thing that I've obviously struggled with in my career. Obviously, I'm not on the same level as Lachie in terms of well known and stardom in the game, but even my little short time in doing podcasts and looking at the media outlets and getting a bit of homework done. That's the thing. That's why I've kind of started this podcast, is because I can control the narrative and I understand what the questions I want you to say. I don't want him to go out and say something that he doesn't want to say. And when you're getting interviewed, obviously in the media, like by a media manager, we probably get a sheet of paper, some things we should talk about, and if we get asked any sketchy questions, we kind of refer back to that.
Yeah,
that answer that we have.
Go like the cliches.
Yeah, the cliches.
And then the fans and the media are like, what? They just roll out the same lines, and it's like, well, it's because of
what happens. Yeah. So even like with the Damo Barrett smashing Hodgie for doing the media during the game, like that's another step backwards. But every time we see an article that they twist it into saying that it's not what we actually were talking about, it just takes us back in terms of like being more honest in interviews. So that's why you see a lot of podcasts these days, because everyone can control that. And from here I can edit it and then I can send it to the club and they tick it off and it goes through there. So people feel a lot more comfortable in that environment. So I know what you're saying. With that one especially, that's how that's one of our trademarks. So when he was talking, I knew what he was talking about, but that wasn't a headline for them.
Yeah, it's a big reason why myself and Gary Ablett started Exclusive Insight was
Yeah.
because we just felt like there was so many AFL and NRL players and Olympic athletes that just didn't feel like they could go to a safe place to share their own voice. And it brings us to a topic that we talk about all the time is this notion that the trust between players and the media is starting to, I suppose we've seen it more this year than maybe previous years. And you mentioned Hodgie and Damien Barrett, and there's a couple of other examples in recent times. Like, how do you see the relationship as a whole between players around the league and the media? Like, obviously you see the value and the importance, but do you think the trust is starting to wear thin, or are players just becoming more vocal about wanting to raise issues or topics that they're passionate about? Like, how do you sort of see it?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. Like, it's probably going a bit of like both ways. I think players are starting to call out a bit more of that sort of stuff, like excuse my language, but the bullshit. They're starting to call it out a little bit more, which is great. You probably wouldn't have got that 5 years ago. I can't really remember. Like, even Danger on Kane Corns the other day, like just stuff like that. I don't think you would have got 5 years ago. So I think, as you said, the media is like so important. And I could see myself doing media stuff post footy as well. Like, I love it.
Spoke really well in the what?
No, game day.
Game day, yeah. Spoke really well on game
day.
day. You're actually a host on that, so you do
I
saw that. Yeah.
I enjoy that sort of stuff and that side of the game. So there's so much value that could be gotten out of it. And I think it's important that journalists and everyone tries to just get that value, because like podcasts, you can get a lot from players if you speak to them the right way. And like, even with that one with me, if that journalist had called me and just said, "Oh mate, with those comments, were you like referring back to Fremantle or anything like that?" And I could clarify my comments, and then he could write a story from my point of view rather than just judging off like a couple of sentences that he's heard, and he's like, "Oh, maybe he's talking about Freo. Why not just pick up the phone?" Because they can all do that. They all have.
They can call Jocy and call the club.
Journalists text me all the time. Like, they can get my number. It's not that hard. So yeah, it's just, if they can be more willing to like do those sorts of things, then I think players will open up to them a lot more.
And I guess I was going to ask you is, do you see a difference in the WA media compared to here? Like, because we only have like 3, so I think like we're all on face value with them. I was talking about before, like we know who our journos are. You got like Greg Davis, you got Michael Whiting, you got Andrew Hamilton.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the 3 key guys. Do you have that in WA? Because obviously I've got no idea over there.
There is, to a certain degree. Like, there's so many more though, but I know quite a few of them and get along really well with a lot of the Perth media as well. But and it's the ones that invest time into as well, and sort of don't twist your words that you're going to spend more time with. Yeah. Like, we had, when Andy Brayshaw, he was living with us, with Jules and I, when he got hit.
Oh, bullshit.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So your homework, Sean.
We had the media camped out the front of our house for like 3 or 4 days, which was crazy. So every time we left, there was like cameras and obviously waiting for Andy. But there's a couple of times where there's a couple that I knew, and I just sent him a text and be like, "Mate, come on, like,
okay, stop door stopping me." That's crazy. I didn't know that. So like, they would have been parked out.
That was the biggest story in WA all last year, outside of the grand final.
That was like national news.
Yeah, it was pretty big. But just little things like that. Like, no one wants to be. Like, you don't want cameras camped out the front of the house. Because then even like the streets, like, what's going on here?
And then they say, "Oh, who lives there?"
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, because I think there's obviously the good journos are like really diligent and stuff, and there's, because I think it's so saturated with how many journos there are and how many accredited reporters there are.
Thousands now.
It's always going to be who's first, not who's right at the start. Like, you've got to get in first type thing, and
especially with Twitter and stuff.
Especially with Twitter and social media, all you got to do is put a tweet out there and it can get legs. Obviously, I'm going to ask you, because you're a Golden State fan, and a little misconception can happen these days when you're following a powerhouse team in a competition. How long have you been following Golden State for?
So I'll tell you the story.
Here we go. Okay.
It was I was at boarding school in Adelaide, and I was in a room not too dissimilar to this, watching.
It's a dope room in a boarding house.
Yeah, must have been a very nice boarding house.
They had a podcast room?
No,
very nice.
It wasn't a podcast room, but this is nice carpeted, nice lounges, big screen.
Yeah, love it.
And ESPN was on.
Yeah.
College basketball. I always loved basketball, but didn't have a team.
Yeah.
And I was watching, I Davidson, I can't remember who they were playing, but obviously Steph Curry's college, and he was just dominating, dropping threes.
Balling out.
And I just sort of thought, all right, wherever he gets drafted, because I could hear the commentary and they were like, he'll go in this year's draft.
Yeah,
don't know where.
Yeah.
Lacks size, lacks athleticism, but he'll get drafted.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, wherever he goes, that's what I'm going to go for.
He's got a good story though, doesn't he?
Awesome story. And went pick 7 to Golden State, and then that's what I went for.
That's your team.
And,
well, so how long ago was that now?
That would have been 2009.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
OG.
So we were shocking, like, and everyone used to pay me out for going for him. I've got a photo on my phone.
He has proof. He does have proof.
Show the boys, like,
the first thing I asked him.
11, I think.
Yeah.
With Steph Curry, like his OG jersey, his first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pulled that out. Hodgie was trying to give me crap yesterday, and I pulled it out. I was like,
Hodgie, come on, mate. He acts like he knows basketball, doesn't he? Oh, I can't stand him sometimes.
Stop it.
Jeez, when he talks about basketball, it's like, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to meet Steph.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron Ford from Hype Tours.
Another sponsor of the show.
Yeah, 100%.
Actually, number one
sponsoring me, hopefully. I don't know about you both, but I've been.
If they want to shout me a free trip over to America to watch a couple of games, I'm not going to say no, obviously. But yeah, you've been on a few tours in America. Did you go with a few Freo boys, or was it like a mixed just AFL group that went over there?
Yeah, well, I think it was the first one, and he'd sort of put it out to the AFL, but there was a few of us Freo boys that were like, far out, that sounds pretty cool. So I think there's about 7 or 8 of us.
Yeah.
We went over and did that tour with Aaron, so that was like awesome experience. We went to about 8 or 9 games, I reckon, and it was. We got to meet not only like Steph and KD, but KD was at OKC. That was his last year there.
Okay.
But we had like a really long lunch with Jeremy Lin and Cody Zeller. So just like there's some different guys that you wouldn't really think about too much. Jeremy Lin's obviously pretty big name.
Raptors as well.
Yeah.
And he would have been balling at that stage. Was he at would he be in New York then?
He was at Charlotte then.
Oh, okay. So it was after he's Lin stayed on a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
But he had that documentary and stuff. Like, it was.
Oh, mate,
Big
wicked.
name,
wicked.
He was like number one like jersey sale. Was it jersey? Yeah, jersey sale.
Yeah.
Like for like a couple of years straight.
Yeah.
Or right up there anyway.
Yeah, and we met like Kyle Korver.
Yeah. 3-point specialist.
Went through the Lakers facility. Just did all these pretty cool things that obviously we don't experience here because we can't.
Did you get any of that footage? You know, like you see in the off season, like some players like handballing with a basketball player. Did you have any of those?
Inserts,
I think that was you, wasn't it? Yeah. In the hallway handballing or kicking with someone.
He's showing Steph.
With Steph.
Yeah, showing Steph. I remember I saw the vision.
Well, I'm going to put that on the YouTube. I'm going to put that. Go to my YouTube channel. It's going to be on there. You send me that shit.
Yeah,
sure. I remember seeing
awesome.
that.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah. And we met like his wife, who was like lovely as well.
Aisha?
Like, yeah, it was awesome.
Shout out Aisha.
Doesn't miss an episode.
I haven't seen you for ages, bub. Cut that out. Love you, Emma. So you got to meet Katie. You got a couple of stories about Katie. Like, so are they as glamorous as they look? Someone was telling me, who was it? Anthony, our media manager, he worked in the NBA for I don't know if you spoke to him. He worked in the NBA for a year a bit, and he reckons like just their lifestyle is just glamorous, like rock up in amazing SUVs. Just, I don't want to say girls packed because it's probably, I don't want to say that, but they had girls. He reckons they had girls coming out left, right, and center. Like, is that what you see? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Like, we stayed in hotels, like, so a couple of the hotels were the team hotels as well.
Oh, you're being a nuffy.
They were just baller, like awesome hotels. But yeah, we landed in like Oklahoma, went to the hotel, and there was a guy who's the chaplain of the American men's basketball team, and he was the sort of the hookup. So he knew like a lot of the players because, as you probably know, they're all really religious. Like a lot of them are religious, and so he has quite a bit to do with a lot of the big dogs.
Yeah.
So he landed in Oklahoma, went to the hotel, and then he's like, "Oh, Kevin's going to come around and say good day."
Kevin.
Yeah. So KD rolls up in this SUV. Like big,
those black ones like that. Tinted.
Couldn't even see in the car.
Illegal, but cool as hell.
Yeah, dope.
I'm trying to get out of my car, and it's like, no, I'm getting pulled over straight away.
KD just jumped out, came and spoke to us for about probably half an hour.
His half an hour would cost a lot.
Yeah. And then the chaplain was just like, "Oh, thanks, Kev," and he chucked him the keys. So
he's throwing the keys to the chaplain.
Yeah, so the chaplain's just got KD's car. And then I think he dropped KD back to his house. and because he has like 9 cars or something. So he's like, yeah, you can just take this one. So the chaplain was just driving around in KD's car for the weekend.
It's real, isn't it?
It's funny you say that with the half hour. Tom Mitchell said it was the greatest half hour of his life when he had a chance to meet KD and just talk about how he approaches the game. And one thing that I remember he said to me was it was what KD said on how he manages basketball in terms of when he gets home, he switches off. Like he doesn't watch much basketball. He doesn't watch or listen to the commentary. Did he say something similar to that when you guys, I suppose, had the chance to meet? Because I think from what you said before that, there was a lot of lessons that he passed on, just from his own experiences. So what were some of the things that you took away from that? Yeah,
it was a lot about that, like the balance, which we speak about a fair bit, because clearly you can get consumed in the game a fair bit. But just even like for him, he had pretty high raps on him at a young age, and just how he managed those expectations. Whereas I was probably the opposite, like.
What draft pick were you?
58.
So I'm better than him.
What were
pick
you?
40 just throwing it out. Pick 40.
And so was Steph. Steph was like with his dad as well. Like just his whole life was playing basketball. And when he was young, and he's brought out this Facebook series as well. But he spoke about it a few years ago that he was like so consumed and like he was like, I'm gonna make it to the league. And when he was younger, he'd like cry if he had a bad game and like just sort of got to him and stuff. And then his parents basically said to him, like, mate, you don't have to play. We didn't say mate because I don't say that in America, but...
Hey, look, mate, all the way from Aussie. Oh, my God, you guys are Aussies? That's cool, man.
But they basically said it doesn't have to be basketball. Like, it's just a game, and he sort of learned a fair bit from that on how to just balance that, and, like, there's more things in life than just sports, so...
Yep.
Is that, do you have your, like, when you finish a game, do you switch off? Like, are you a footy head, or what has that changed for you in the past?
Yeah, I'm more like before we play, I'll watch a bit of footy, and then after we play, I'm a bit like burnt out.
Just switch off.
If it's a good game, I'll turn it on. I watch a bit of footy, but in terms of our game, I switch off from ours. Like I won't really, same thing. Listen to the commentary on like how I played or how the team played, and because I think you can get. Because if you have a pretty average game,
you don't want to really.
You don't want to read everyone saying, "Geez, he was average tonight." Like So I think I'm pretty good at finding that balance because I love footy and probably want to stay in it post footy as well, post my career. So I feel like I love the game, but I've got a pretty good balance.
It probably brings us to the point, as you mentioned, the external noise. I mean, personally for yourself, we laughed about it before, but you are having a really good year, and a lot's been made around just the growth that you've continued to have. Like, how do you one, block it out as you said, but then two, also don't let it feed you so that you can concentrate and just stay locked in, because it would be hard, man. Like, you got a lot of external noise, and as you just said, Mitch, there's so many accredited journos in the game now that are covering the sport, so it probably amplifies that even more. So how do you make sure you get that balance right?
Yeah, I suppose in the past I've sort of had Nath taking all the accolades and stuff, and so that's been like easy for me to, like in Perth I was sort of didn't get mentioned as much, but as you said, like every interview or something I do now, they sort of say, Brownlow medal favourite and stuff, but I find that pretty amusing. Like we're 9 rounds in, so it's like a long way to go.
So much can happen.
Yeah, so much can happen, but I just look around the league and there's so many like gun players that it's, for me, it just doesn't even come into my head that I'm a chance, because there's like some absolute stars of our game, and I'm not in that echelon. So I feel like I'm pretty grounded anyway. Like I know what my role is for the team, and if I perform that, but I don't get best on, then I don't care at all. Like I just want to win.
Yep.
So for me, it's I hear it, but I don't listen, if that makes sense. So I think my parents as well raised me pretty well to not let that stuff affect me, and I reckon you see it, especially in sports like basketball and NFL and stuff, guys that are affected by it and they just become pretty average people. So and I think that's one great thing about our game. You don't get too many like massive egos that it's all about them, and you get found out pretty quick in a footy club if you like that.
Yeah, obviously he's going to get pumped up in the media, but he kind of explained it then, he's going to play his role regardless. And that's probably the best thing that we've got in our team is if you try and tag Lachie, you're going to have Zorko pop up, who's in great form. You got Jared Lyons, who's playing his role as well. Hugh McCluggage, Jared Berry. Like our midfield, we speak about all the times having depth, and that's something that I think we've really got in our team. So it's always a plus, and I'm under no illusions this week. It might be a heated game, but we've got players that can play that role in a ball-winning ability in Zorko and etc. So looking forward to it. What time is it? 9:10. It's been a great 50-minute chat. I want to give a shout out to Lachie Neale for giving his time up. Exclusive interview.
100%. And as he touched on before, hasn't done anything this year.
Hasn't done anything.
Forget game day. That doesn't count. Even
Game day,
national TV program.
Who watches game day? I was on the Sunday footy show, so they're watching that, obviously.
Yeah.
No, really appreciate you coming on, man. It's a big thing for us to have our first guest, and it's a legend of the game as well. I've got a ball for you to sign. I'm going to try and do that little thing and chuck on the wall there. You'll guess a sign of footy.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Good work. I'm learning about this for the first time. That's
touch.
fantastic.
That's just something different, huh? Are you flying up early to Freo or?
Nah.
No, you come with the boys.
Come with the boys.
Come with the boys.
It's a
double
long
checking.
trip, so I just got to
5 hours by
if I was
yourself.
going by myself, like.
Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But no, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Good luck with the golf today.
Anytime.
What do you shoot, by the way?
As in
Handicap.
Handicap 12.
You wouldn't even know what that is, would you?
I'm just going to nod my head and say that's very impressive.
Well, I have a pass.
It's probably like top 5.
Maybe just. Oh, there's
Scraping in.
Like Richie's pretty low.
Richie, yeah.
JL's off like.
Richie's got an extra club in his bag though. He's got a foot wedge.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
He's probably the next Ackermanis. Like post footy, he might be getting banned a few. Just throwing it out there, Richie.
Once he finishes footy, Brizzy Golf Club.
Brizzy Golf Club. No, sorry, man. We can't keep letting you do this. I'm sorry. Like you do a fair bit for us, but no. Obviously, he's a big listener of the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out
Just
Dan.
Richie just
Shout out
missed
Dan.
this week, mate.
Shout out Dan Rich and Brisbane Golf Club. No, thanks. Appreciate that. Hopefully, go well today. This is Rip Through a Podcast, People's Podcast, exclusive insight. Sean Tobin,
100%.
Brownlow medalist.
2019 Brownlow medalist. You heard it here first.
You're an idiot. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
See you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.